Boom! Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Sauter, professor of football science. I'm here going to discuss NFL free agency about to fire up starting on Monday, and there's some trades going on today. CFL free agency is already it's near the tail end of being fired up and is getting ready for the CFL draft. And then the UFL, they're all contested and they're all part of a training camp, getting ready to start some preseason workouts and stuff. It's like scrimmages and stuff like that. They don't have preseason games, but they're going to start scrimmaging and things and start cutting players and pretty good times. So it's a lot going on with football. Starting to fire back up already, but it's not fired up all the way. So I'm going to go through the news and notes from so far this week, about half the week, and we'll see how it turns out for the rest of the week. I'm joined by my guest host, Trade-A-Tiger. Trade-A-Tiger here, ready to go. There's a lot of trades. Buffalo's going to get DJ Moore. Yeah, that's right. That's good. And then the Rams are getting another cornerback, Trent McDuffie. So that's good. Hey, you're stealing all the good stories, Tiger. Why are you doing that? I don't know. I've been hanging out. I've been thinking about what I'm going to talk about all day. And here I am talking about it, And there's CFL and UFL and everything. Lorenzo Martin's retired. I don't know. It's getting crazy out there. But how you doing, Professor? I'm doing pretty good. Just been busy, working on research and film work and stuff. Of course, that's what you do. You work on stuff. And I get ready for the show. That's it. That's what our jobs are. You're working and I'm getting ready to work. So with that in mind, let's break it down. Break it down. Meow, 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 meow. Break it down. All right. Good job, Tiger. All right. So first, NFL news. Over the last 3 days, Kansas City Chiefs have told offensive tackle Jawan Taylor that they'll be releasing him. He'll become a free agent. That's going to save them $20 million in cap space going into free agency. Cincinnati Bengals have reached an agreement with offensive guard Dalton Risner for a 1-year contract extension to keep him in. They help the pass protection a little bit. You can't tell because Joe Burrow was hurt the whole season. Mental note. Detroit Lions traded running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans. So he's out. So it's just going to be Jahmyr Gibbs. He'll probably get hurt now because they traded their very good 1-2 package and never traded him. And they'll probably get hurt, I'm saying. But they are going to get Juice, Scruggs, and a 7th round draft pick and a 4th round draft pick. So, it kind of came cheap. Washington Commanders. They are releasing cornerback Marshawn Lattimore on Monday. It's going to save them $18.5 million on cap space. Miami Dolphins are releasing offensive lineman Liam Eschenberg. Detroit Lions have released offensive lineman Graham Glasser. That'll save them $5.5 million in the cap. Boom. Houston Texans have released veteran safety Jimmy Ward. I'll save them $750,000 on the cap. That's not much. Boom. New York Jets decided to place the franchise tag on running back Breece Hall. They want to get a long-term done with Breece Hall, but they did not find an agreement, so they tagged him. So he's getting paid $14.293 million this year by the Jets. Could be worse. Seattle Seahawks did not apply the franchise tag on Kenneth Walker III or on Jackson Smith-Njigba. So Kenneth Walker III will become a free agent here next week. Seattle Seahawks did tender the rights with players Ty Cody Akudaki and George Holani. Minnesota Vikings, they are open to trading Pro Bowl pass or edge rusher Jonathan Grenard. Okay, why? Because they just don't want to pay him, I guess. So they're like, hey, we'll open the trades. Someone wants to trade for him. We'll see if anyone trades for him. San Francisco 49ers have re-signed long snapper John Wiggs. 1-year extension. Never think about long snappers until you need them. Ask the Bengals. They always do that kind of stuff. Here's something the Bengals would do. Cincinnati Bengals have taken Trey Hendrickson, who they fought with for months about a contract. He finally played during the season, got hurt, didn't play very much. Probably because he didn't want to get really hurt. He wants to get a payday. Well, they decided not to transition tagging or franchise tagging. So now, instead of trading him at the trade deadline last year when he wasn't even playing, they could have got some draft capital back for him and replaced him They get nothing. They get nothing. Now they lost Trey Henderson and got nothing. So that's the kind of decision making that always bombs out the Cincinnati Bengals. As a future GM, I'm the general manager now for indoor football team, the Chattanooga Cows, and I'm trying not to make decisions like that with my roster. Okay, so that's a bad call by the Bengals. They're releasing Trey Henderson. He's not released. He's an unrestricted free agent. They decided not to tag him. Goodbye, Trey Henderson. Chicago Bears center Drew Dahlman, who they signed to a 3-year contract last year, he decided to retire at 27. That's depressing for them. Indianapolis Colts have placed a transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. Okay, so transition tag. What's different between a transition tag and franchise tag? $6 million. They're paying him $6 million less for a transition tag than a franchise tag. That's the only difference. There's probably more differences, but they're minute. Arizona Cardinals have informed quarterback Kyler Murray that they're going to release him at the start of the league year, which is next Monday when free agency starts. Cleveland Browns have terminated contract offensive tackle Cornelius Legacy, and they have waived center Justin Osborne. Okay, LA Chargers have decided to release offensive guard Mekhi Becton to save $9.7 million. I mean, their draft selection was horribly also, so it didn't help. Dallas Cowboys have restructured contract of quarterback Dak Prescott. Tyler Smith has restructured his deal, and CeeDee Lamb, as they are now under the salary cap, $301 million salary cap. So they're trying to clear more space with Keenan Williams and stuff so they can actually make some free agent moves. But they finally got below the salary cap to avoid penalties. Dallas Cowboys have tendered quarterback Reddy Stewart. Check that. They have tendered cornerback Reddy Stewart. Okay. They also franchise tag wide receiver George Pickens, so he's coming back for a year. I mentioned that earlier this week, though. Boom. Trade alert. LA Rams are getting cornerback Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are getting a first-round pick, a 29 pick overall, a 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick, and the 2027 a 3rd-round pick. So that's a nice haul for Trent McDuffie for the Chiefs. That's a nice haul. They're going to rebuild that team from those picks. Carolina Panthers have agreed to exclusive rights on free agent wide receiver Jalen Coker and Bryson Tremaine. Okay, so they're going to keep the receivers. Kansas City Chiefs will return. That's going to be good for Bryce Young to return the receiver. Okay. Kansas City Chiefs will release Jawan Taylor to be a free agent. I already mentioned that, but they had to re-release it, I guess. I don't know. LA Chargers release tight end Will Disley, Mekhi Becton officially, and offensive tackle Savion Washington. They're trying to get, trying to cut the fat and get some draft capital or some free agency capital, some money. Minnesota Vikings have, they're expected to release defensive tackle Jonathan Allen to save cap space. Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Rashid Shaheed did not get any kind of cap or re-signed, so he's going to be a free agent. I mean, he was an explosive kick returner too, so they're a good guy to pick up for somebody. I would say Buffalo, but they decided to make a different move. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have picked up the 1-year extension, picked up the rights for punter Riley Dixon. Okay, so they picked him up as option for 1 more year. Washington Commanders have reached agreement with defensive lineman Shai Tuttle for a 1-year extension for the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders have decided to release defensive lineman Dietrich Wise for 1 year. Nope, they're bringing him back for a 1-year extension. They did not release him, so they're bringing him back for 1 year. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have decided to trade. They're going to trade running back Sean Tucker. Otherwise, he'll become a free agent, so they're not going to re-sign him. They'd like to trade him, but they can't find a trade partner. They're going to, by Monday, he's going to be released. Washington Commanders, they have reached a 1-year agreement with defensive lineman Drake Jackson. The Commanders making a lot of the moves, short-term moves in their defensive line. So then they're trying to make another run here. Jacksonville Jaguars agreed to terms with tight end Quentin Morris. Houston Texans offensive tackle Trent Brown is getting a 1-year contract extension. because the protection was better for C.J. Stroud than it has been. Buffalo Bills have they put together a trade with Chicago Bears to get wide receiver DJ Moore to become their deep threat. So they're trying to address that, which that's a good move. So what's the deal with that trade? Well, Buffalo Bills get DJ Moore, and they get a 2026 fifth-round pick. The Bears get a 2026 second-round pick. All right, pretty good trade value for the Bears. And Buffalo Bills get a guy who's probably a legitimate deep threat. And a fifth-round pick. Houston Texans, they're promoting Jerry Sheplick to their quarterback coach. New Orleans Saints, 8-time Pro Bowler Cameron Johnston will be a free agent. He's a 15-year veteran. He's still productive, though, but he's going to be a free agent. They're not re-signing him. Pittsburgh Steelers have released tight end Jonnu Smith. After all that crap last year with Jonnu Smith and the Dolphins, he's being released. New York Giants have released wide receiver Gary Ozlowski. Okay. Nope, they reached a one-year agreement. They did not release. They reached a one-year agreement with wide receiver Jenny Ozlowski. Depth player, but that sounds like to me. Let's translate to the depth player. Okay, UFL, some moves have been made during the week, during training camp week, not by the Orlando Storm, so I've been pretty quiet on that. But here's the review of the UFL moves so far this week in training camp. Birmingham Stallions have released offensive guard Deontay Brown. Dallas Renegades have signed offensive guard Jake Bowdy. Louisville Kings have signed tight end Zach Davidson, signed wide receiver Tyler Hudson, signed wide running back James Robinson, signed defensive end Jeremy Robinson. That's a lot of signings this late in the camp, honestly. It's not like a mess, honestly. I think Louisville Kings are going to be a mess, man. So, St. Louis Battlehawks signed defensive end Demore Harris. Okay. DC Defenders offensive tackle let's go. Patrick Clements has retired. Dallas Renegades tight end Baylor Cupp has signed with the team, so Dallas Renegades have signed tight end Baylor Cupp. Houston Gamblers have signed cornerback Clarence Lewis. St. Louis Battlehawks have signed tight end Shane Calhoun. And then Louisville Kings, last week they signed middle linebacker Lorenzo Malden, but he's retired. He does not want to go play for them. Okay, in the CFL, so a few moves, not too much. It wasn't any Hamilton Tiger Cats, so I didn't write an article about it. Montreal Alouettes restructured the contract of wide receiver Sean Ryan. So they're trying to save some money for the cap. Maybe to make some moves there. Toronto Argonauts signed American defensive lineman Quincy Robinson. And they signed American defensive back Vincent Gray. Toronto Argonauts have signed American defensive lineman Amin Benone. And they signed American wide receiver Dimitri Smith. Okay. Montreal Alouettes signed American defensive back Jamon Green. The BC Lions signed American defensive lineman Ezekiel Vanderbaugh. Toronto Argonauts signed American defensive lineman Amin Vanover. And Winnipeg Blue Bombers have re-signed. They restructured the contract of Zach Collaros' via last year playing in the CFL. Sounds like he's going to retire. So that's cool. That's the moves in the NFL, CFL, and UFL this week so far. Probably we'll chat back on Sunday and see how it's looking for the rest of the week. We're at a quiet time right now. We'll see how it goes there. I'll have another episode of Football Scientific then. Check out my articles on footballanalysis1.com, UFLnewshub.com, CFLnewshub.com. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep this thing growing, okay? I'm going to close the Football Scientific portal now. Good night.